Hey guys, my name's Big Fella from Big Fella Industries. I work in the oil and gas industry, and I'm a family man, and I'm someone with a goal.
All right, big fella, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, no worries.
Really just want to go and just break down your story, where you started from, what was childhood like, your experiences growing up, and how you transitioned to Perth and your life from thereafter to where you are now.
Yeah, right. So originally born and bred in New Zealand. I was born in Gisborne. From a young age, my parents split up. Me and my mother, we moved down south to Christchurch. So I was down in Christchurch for a long time. I was stepfather there, step siblings, sister Anita, brother Jacob. Lived life down there as the best we could. Look, life wasn't easy down there in Christchurch from memories, but obviously my parents tried to, do the best that they could with what they had. Back in those days, things weren't easy, jobs weren't the best, but we made it happen. Anyway, going back to when I was 7.5, my parents, my original parents obviously got back together. When I was 8, I went up to Gisborne, and then my real dad worked in the oil industry. So he had a job in Australia, so we all packed up as a family, myself, and then I met my step-sibling Kaya, or Nikaya, and we all packed up and come over to Perth. So then obviously he was working in the industry here, and I didn't really gel too much with Perth.
How old are you around this time?
Oh, 8 years old.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was pretty new coming to this, they had fans in the roof to cool their house, and flash cars and air cons, and it was a different lifestyle. So I didn't really gel with it too much. So a year later I went back and obviously lived with grandma for a while. Obviously with grandma, you're with family, and my aunties, they brought us up within that time. And then my brother came back, so it was a pretty cool time in life. A lot of the life lessons I remember back to are those times. And then, when I turned 13, I came back to Australia to start high school. Here I went to Prindleville Catholic College. Again, my parents were working, Dad was offshore. My mother worked in old people's home, so old health. So we were growing up in that sort of environment, we were there every day with the old people, so it was good. I think that's when we started seeing helping others. Gotcha. That was a really good time. Normal teenage years, went through to year 12. My stepsister had come over by then, Anita, but we say step, but we're brothers and sisters, regardless of what you say. There's no step in it. My sister Anita and my brother Kaya, we all went through school. They did their thing, and I graduated year 12. I was working at KFC at the time. Flipping chickens, that's the way. Got to make money somehow, but we were taught from a young age that if you want something, you've got to work for it. Got to year 12, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I don't know. So then what I did, my manager that I worked with at the time, who I really respected, he said, well, come and open a store with us, and then we'll make you a manager. So, okay.
KFC, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my goal. Year 12, I left year 12, graduated, of course, got a bit of paper, and then off I went, worked in KFC, opened a store, became a young manager, and then decided, this is not for me. So then I got into security, so we started doing events, and then nightclub security, so I thought that was great. Who wouldn't? You're 19 years of age in the nightclub. It was really good time, met a lot of people, learnt a lot. Within that, the money wasn't enough, so I was doing extra work working in St Bartholomew's men's home.
Okay. Yep.
My Uncle Pip used to be a supervisor there, so we were working with the guys with mental health issues. It was a men's home, very good. Did there 3.5, 4 years, so I enjoyed that, but then still wanted more. Got into the armoured trucks side of things, working for Brinks during the day, so that was my full-time job. That was really, really good. Enjoyed it. Within that time, previously, you know, I'd been married at a young age. That didn't really work out too well, and then I met a wonderful woman, or a wonderful lady, I should say, Miss Lisa, 21 years ago. She came into my life. Apparently I'd known her beforehand, which we just crossed paths, you know. So yeah, we started living together, and then, you know, we're working and doing our thing, and then, hello, the old phone call. Guess what?
That call.
So you know, when you're young, you know, early 20s, you're like, oh, okay. You know, we were managing as it was, paying rent and food, and then a little life came into our hands, which was Blade. Never regret anything about it. It wasn't easy. It was quite hard. So yeah, moved from house to house, you know, trying to find that balance, and it just really wasn't working. And then we got thrown a curveball when the guys got rid of our house. We had nowhere to live. So Lisa's mum, Jan, she allowed us to live in her house. It was a bit small, so we stayed in the caravan out the back. So we lived there for 6, 7, 8 months, and it was just really hard. And my best mate, Scott, which you'll meet today, he said, oh, look, champ, go find a house that you like, and I'll buy it for you. You can rent it off me, and then buy it when and that was just like the greatest gift of all. So anyway, we went and found this, we went and found this house, and yeah, he got it. He got it. So yeah, down the track, again, working in nightclubs. The owners of this public house, I used to work for them. So in the nightclubs, and yeah, JP, Danny, and all the family. A really great family. The work that I did there, that helped us obviously with food and all the little necessities that we couldn't, because we were on, you know, a couple of bucks, just enough to pay the rent and food, so and fuel for the car. So it wasn't easy. I was never home for Blade at the time. Blade was growing up, and I missed all that, because you're working, you know, 6 days a week, 3 nights a week. It was just really hard.
It's just the security.
Yeah, just in the security phase of things. So then, yeah, just one night we had one fight too many, and I just, is this for me? And I said to my mate, Big Mac, I said, look, I'll go try and get a job offshore and see how that goes, and then you, maybe, he goes, I'm going to go and look at the mines and we'll see what it works and we'll help each other out. Anyway, I met a guy, an old friend, Craig Sparrowhawk, and he got us to start with Weatherford's, which is a casing company. So we went and done the casing, and then obviously learnt the ropes there, and we just I wasn't home much, you know, just I wasn't there to see my kid. And when you arrive home and your boy's going, when are you going back to work? You're going tomorrow, and he's hanging on to you. It's just like, man, this is hard. So another friend on a rig at the time, Brent Wilton, Brent said, oh, I'll go and speak to the manager there, the OIM, and I got to start. So I got my first solid start with Maersk, and yeah, I went from working on the decks, scrubbing the decks, you know, as you do, but the money there was just, it was great.
Totally different to what you were getting here?
Yeah, way different. Yeah. But the first struggle that I had was, we're living week to week, and now with offshore they were paying month to month. So I didn't have that gap or any money saved. So I just looked at my other best mate, Brian Roche, said, look, I'll spot you. And the reason I mention these people's names, because they're all significant, and you always got to remember the people that help you get there. So he helped us out on that 1 month tie over. So we moved through the ranks and obviously got up to the drill floor, and yeah, look, it was just 12 hours on, 12 hours off, slog, and I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. I mean, I'm in my early 30s. You know, is this the career I want to be? But I had an awesome tool pusher, Johnny Falconer. He goes, why don't you get into safety? I was like, huh? Safety? No one likes the safety, Blake.
Health and safety, it's,
You know what I mean? He's the bloke that you run away from.
yeah.
And the words that I remember him saying is, well, don't be that bloke. Oh, okay. And I said, okay, do you think safety could work hand in hand with the workers? He goes, well, why don't you try it? So that's how I got my start. So I filled in for an old mate, and yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something different, computers, and obviously talking to people. And
So these are skills you never had going in?
I sort of knew how to use a computer. I used to sort of fix them before, but I never used them to the point of PowerPoint presentations and stuff like that. So Blade was, he was like 7 at the time, and they were learning at school, so he sort of gave me a few tips.
A few tips and tricks here and there.
On how to do my PowerPoint presentations. And then from there, it was just, more education and learning. I mean, with that sort of job, it's more common sense. So from there, we were working for the operator, and then one day I get a phone call out of the blue to come and work for Shell from an engineer, actually, named Callum.
Wow.
Mentioned someone in Shell, and they rang me up, and lo and behold,
Yeah.
here we are, 7 years down the track.
7 years in
Yeah.
Shell. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, big fella, there's a lot to unpack on that. And I really just want to go back, man, and focus on, because you didn't come from privilege. You didn't come from,
No.
nah. So a lot of what you have now is just pure, obviously the connections, good people that you surround yourself with, and your hard work as well. You know, so that's a lot to branch off that. But
And I think a lot of it's from people that teach you and who you pick up from, you know. At times, you attach yourself to people, you know, whether it be an older person, male or female, and that's like your mentor. So we've had quite a few through these times that have obviously got us to where we are today. I mean, I still have people that I look up to today. I mean, I think everyone always needs a mentor.
for sure. What I want to dive straight into is your expectations, having worked in the rigs, offshore or in the oil and gas industry. What were your expectations going in before you knew anything? Obviously, you had the connection there with Dad. What were your expectations going in, and the actual realities of working offshore?
Well, I guess if you onshore, all our mates were all getting jobs in the mines and that, and they were getting $90,000, and we were like, oh, that is just a dream. So your expectation is just money. Money, easy life. There'd be no arguing because you're not at home. There'd be no stress. There'd be no worries. Money. You didn't really sort of like stop and think what was behind it. You know, you didn't. Yeah, you just thought it was all glitz and glamour. You know, they get to stay away. Their food's for free. Their rooms get cleaned. They get to go to work and hang out with their mates, and then they get to come home and have all this bulk time off, and that's the life that we want. But lo and behold, it's not really like that. You know, there's times up there where you do your 12-hour shift. A lot of people do 12 hours. And then, especially offshore, you're isolated. So you spend your time with your friends afterwards, whether you're, smoking, talking, or exercising or whatever. When you're offshore, you're isolated. There's no shop you can go to. You know, you've got a phone that you're only allowed a minimum amount of time to talk to your family with. So if everyone would sit in the one place, they'd be talking, all the issues that they've had on the phones. And this is like our self-help group, you know. Everyone's in there, they've all got their ideas and their plans, and, you try and learn off them, and you go, well, hang on, are you the best bloke for me to be listening to? But look, that's all you had. And then when you'd obviously go to your room, that's lonely time. That's the time that you got to think. And then you're just like, oh, shut eyes, got to go to sleep, because you've got to get back up and slog it for 12 hours again. Yeah, it's not the best, and, if something happens at home, you don't know what's going on. In the mines, it's a bit different. The thing different there, some of them have wet messes, which, for me, I'm not a believer in, because you go there to earn money, not to spend money. But then, a lot of the consensus is, well, what have we got to do? They do have health and wellbeing coaches, offshore and onshore. These coaches are into fitness, they can give you diets, but then they can also, for the social side of things, either guide you towards counselling or anything like that. So there are companies that are putting these in place to try and help the person. But at the end of the day, you can talk to that person all you like, but it's that lonely time that comes back, that's when you've got to process it, and that's the hardest. And being away, You don't know what's happening at home. What are they up to, you know? What did you say on the phone that maybe could spark something, you know? And then a lot of the guys, even myself, you got to wonder all day what the next conversation is going to be, because what you said before, maybe you've sparked something, or, you know, and then everyone feeds off each other with the conversation, and then so on and so on. So, yeah, it's not what it's made out to be, no. The money's good, but it comes at a price. And last year alone, we from our one rig, we lost 3 people to suicide. 3 people.
Wow. And these are people close to you?
Yeah, they're people that were on our cruise, people that we knew. You know, for me, I couldn't go to their funerals because I was at work. You know, I'm on the other side of the world. You know, and that's the thing with working away. You miss birthdays, funerals. I missed my kid's first day of school. My mate took him to his new school, stepped in as his step-in daddy. We have step-in daddies. And I missed his graduation. I watched it live on the other side of the world. These are the things, the moments that you'll never get back. I missed my best mate's wedding. You know, you can't get that back.
There's just deeper stages in the actual offshore and the sacrifices that you make. And that's, wow.
And it doesn't matter what you do, you can't make it up to them, you know. You can look at photos on Facebook, and Facebook's the worst. Because people working away, we watch Facebook because we're watching our lives where we should be a part of it, and we're not there. And it just causes so much emotions and problems, and you know, it's good because we keep in touch with everyone, but we also,
but you're still disconnected.
We're out of touch.
Yeah. So what's your roster at the moment?
For myself, I do 4 and 4.
That's one of the better ones, yeah?
That's the best one. Everyone wants a 4 and 4 roster. But some of the guys in the mines, they do 2 and 1s, 3 and 1s. I know that there is action to try and get equal time, but when moving for equal time for these people, they will get less money. And that's the thing, we're all working for the money. You know, I'm working in a country that's very rich, but they use workers from different parts of the world, so they're only paid very low amounts of money, but and they do long stints because of the labour laws. They're doing 2 years working, then they go home for 2 months. Our crews do 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off. It's a toll, you know. And one of the things you ask, why do you work? Why do you work?
Oh, well, to provide for the family. We have, just for the bills, and really.
What about the lifestyle?
Well, the lifestyle comes as
you're earning.
as a package, yeah.
So, you know, if you ask someone from the mines or someone from offshore back in the heyday, oh, I work to support my family, I work for my toys, we call them toys, work for our holidays. But when you work in the country that I do with the people that come from the lower income areas, when you ask them, what do you work for? They work for food and shelter. That's it.
Wow.
There is no thought in their mind to buy a new car. There is no thought in their head to buy a new house. There is no thought on going on vacation.
It's the essentials.
It's
the bare
to
survive.
You know, here we are here in Australia. We do seem a bit entitled. You know, we should get this pay, we should get this bonus rate, this, that, and the other. You know, because we've overcommitted individually on whatever.
Yeah.
Not planning for the future. Some. I mean, that's why you'll see now a lot of people go, oh, I'd love another boom. But over there, it's every day is just trying to put, at the end of the month, they all put money in to feed their families because all their families live together. That's why they have a lot of kids.
In the one house?
In the one house or in the one no, they have land and they all build their houses on, so they can all support each other. There might be only 2 kids that actually work. They have to support everyone, whereas us, we leave the nest at 16, 17, and then we've only got to worry about ourselves. So that's quite it's a changing culture, changing appreciation, and you sort of like, it gives you another perspective on what we're trying to do.
Has that really made you appreciate more and be grateful more?
More humble.
More humble.
Like, I'd go there and I was like, when they moved me from offshore to onshore, why am I in this? This is crap, you know. I don't want to be here, you know. This is my career. Hang on, buddy. Take a step back. what is your goal here? To look after the people. You've been sent here for a reason. Your company has chosen you to come to this site for a reason. And then you start working with the people and you go, you know what? Maybe just pull it back a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite humbling. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Big fella, just run us through the process of the week leading up to when you have to go for your month off. The week leading up to when you have to go away. What's that like?
Well, I compare it to a bit here. Like a lot of people, if you've worked with them, then you see them on Sunday. Well, how do you feel? Oh, I've got to go to work Monday. Yeah. You go through that anxiety. Gotcha. Oh, I've got to go to work. What's my week going to be like? Have I done this? Have I done that? And then you go, can't wait to look forward to Friday. For us, the last week is I've got to go to work. What have I done? Because I'm going for a month. Is everything in place so my family doesn't have to worry? Is this done, that done? Whether it's the pool, the bills, just life in general. And have I taken enough for the month ahead for me at work? Am I ready for work? You know, what's going to happen? Have I covered everything from the month I left? And you do get into that, I call it the Sunday depression that you guys would get 4 times a month. I only get it 1 time a month. So I only get it 6 times a year because I'm only working 1 month on, 1 month off. So it is, I get pretty anxious. My wife says I'm lastminute.com. So I seem to do everything at the last minute. Even though you've got 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, everything seems to come down to the last few days where you're running around and trying to tick the boxes, and then you pack your bags when it starts getting real, and then you get that. And my wife says I get a bit downy, you know. She goes, oh, mopey. Yeah, so for the last few days, Dad's mopey, so, you know, it's just what it is. Yeah.
What challenges does the ones that you leave behind, what challenges do they go through that you find without you being at home?
Well, they have their own lives. You know, we live 2 lives. When I'm home and when I'm away. So when I'm away, my wife leads the fort. She's a strong, independent lady, as she says, and my son's sort of self-independent. They're like 2 best mates. They do their own thing. The life still goes on for them. The only thing that changes is I'm not in the picture. Yeah. That's the only thing. So they just so used to it. Yeah, they do miss me, but their life still has to move forward. They've still got their same Monday to Friday or whatever it is that they've got going on. So they've built up this resilience to it, you know. They've got to cope on their own. They've got to do their own thing and be ready for whatever comes along. I guess for me, I have to realise when I come home, I just fit in.
So you just got to blend in with...
I have to...
You blend in with their life and time.
Don't come along and say, we will do this because I'm home, I'm the man. No, you can't be like that. And at the end of the day, they live their life every day where we come and go. So we have to slot in, help where we can help, listen when we need to listen. That's the biggest thing. And sometimes they don't want your advice. They just want you to listen, you know, which is fair enough. You know, it's just the way it is. I'm pretty lucky, I must say, because, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and any issue that comes along, I have contact every day, so I'm able to organise stuff. I've got good friends. Like my mate had to come and fix my stove, but the other day because it blew up, and you know that's the job that I should be doing. But we're very lucky. If you work FIFO, you build up a family circle, and if you're away, then there's someone to help out. If you're home and they have something happening while they're away, then you just do it, because it's an unwritten code. Yeah. And we have so many good friends around us that work in the FIFO. I've got so many best friends that would just step up to the plate. All my wife's got to do is make a phone call. Even though they don't want to make that phone call and someone's going to be there. And for me, it makes me feel comfortable while I'm away. Yeah.
Could you share with us any other realities that you found in working offshore?
I feel, you know, we say, oh, I'm only going to do it for 5 years and then I'll get out, I'll make my money and I'll be sweet. Never happens. You adjust your life to the amount you earn. So people say, oh, I'm going to put away this much money, this much. You don't. Because then you go, oh, I can buy that, I can buy this, I can buy that. I mean, a lot of people ask me, why don't you go buy another house? Because I ended up buying the house off my best mate. And,
Scott, yeah?
Yeah, Digger. Call him Digger. We worked together for a long time. But yeah, why don't you buy another house? What for? I like this house. And for me, the house has sentimental value. You know, it's where we got through our...
It was your step.
we got through our ditch as a couple, growing with the young blade, and then obviously getting a better life, and then because my mate stepped up. You know, there's not many times a bloke shakes a hand and goes, you know, so a lot of people have overcommitted. And that's why in this industry now we want a second boom. So I think a lot of people will be a lot more smarter, because in the last boom, we thought it would keep going. I mean, I did, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. And the thing that they set was this happiness ceiling.
Yeah. Explain to us that happiness ceiling. What
Well,
is it?
I learned the happiness ceiling from my friend Alistair, who works for a company. And happiness ceiling is where you set your happiness, you know, that feeling of, you know what, I can buy whatever I want. I can buy that beer and not even worry about it. I can go and buy that car, I can go on holidays, I've got money in the bank, sweet. It's that feeling of, I don't know, accomplishment, you know. I work hard, look, I can do this. But then what happens is when that earning capacity gets taken away, we don't lower our happiness ceiling. We're still waiting for that euphoria from here. So a lot of people from the industry that have come back to work in town and that, they haven't lowered their happiness ceiling to just accept that you've got your bills paid, food in the fridge, and clothes on your back, and you're a family. They still want, oh, well, I can't do this, well, I can't do that, you know. I should be able to do this. I used to be able to do that. I used to get paid this. You don't anymore. So we've got to bring it down, reevaluate, and see where we're going to go from there. That's my interpretation of it. Yeah.
That's good. Just for those who in our audience who aspire to or have a goal to get onto the rigs and off to work offshore, what certifications and courses do you have to do, and who was your contact?
Well, at the moment, obviously, there's a big surplus because but more rigs are coming in. So a lot of the positions are being filled. So to get a start in the industry, like any company, you have to meet minimum requirements. And within the industry, it's generally to go offshore is a helicopter crash course, and then you do your rigging and lifting and slinging, and there's some training programs that can be done all at ERGT here in Jandakot or IFAT. If for the mines, a lot of the companies are using hire companies, job hire companies. So if you go for an application with them, they'll put you in the right direction, whether you need certain trainings, this, that and the other. So a lot of the job agencies that are being used at the moment through the mining industry, they're the ones that will steer you in the right direction. So a lot of people go, oh, I can't afford that. We've got to spend money to make money. And initially I had no money to pay for my courses. I was very lucky. I was working at Whitford Security at the time, and my boss Simon was really good. He allowed me to do the training and work at the same time. So it was the thing that got us through. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, if you really want to give it a go, you really got to have a look at investing, but there's a catch with everything.
Big fella, obviously you got other stuff on the side as well that you do in terms of the big fella industry gear and other business ventures that you have in that regard. Share with us what made that transition.
How did it start? Well, we're back on the Merce Discoverer rig, and one of the guys had set up his website and this, that and the other, and I said, oh, I want to do something like that. Somewhere where everyone can go and ask for help or anything like that. So I registered the name Big Fella as a trademark, B.I.G. Started off in safety. No one remembers your name, but they will remember my nickname. Everyone's called me Big Fella. So I started Big Fella Safety, and it became, when I went to Egypt, an identity that people could, you know, we're all part of Big.
It's your brand.
Big, you know, so I looked at, branding makes, you know, if we all wear a bandana, we might be in different coveralls or anything like that. This one bandana means we're the same. So that's where it all started from, and then we just started into the sports clothing, and then I got asked to sponsor people, and I was like, I got no clue about sponsor. Man, I'm a married boy from Gisborne. What do I know about sponsoring? So all we did, we looked at the factors with Big. We're not the Flash's company. We don't have the Flash logo or the Flash money, but we'll give it the best go we can, and we'll try and help you out where we can, whether it's a couple of bucks, clothing, or people that we can put you in contact with. Just help anyone, really. So we've come in good contact with We Are One, which is a agency here to support the homeless.
Okay.
So we do a bit of work with them, which is great. And then also with some sports people, some known and some not. I mean, we all got to start from somewhere. We've got a couple of people that jump out of planes and parachute. I think it's just cool seeing your name.
I think there was someone that you helped to take across to America, and she made it big.
Oh yeah, well, we helped her when she was first starting. Just like boxing in Thailand. Oh, Bang Bang Lulu.
Bang Bang Lulu.
Yeah. Louise Horton. She helped her. She's just an awesome friend. She's like a family to us, And she's number one. She won her world title. She's a machine. I wish we could just help her more, but she's signed up now.
Oh, awesome.
And like I said to her, girl, when you get signed up, you go with whatever you need to do, and we'll always be here. We always have that connection. At the end of the day, whatever you need, just put your hand up. If we can help, we'll try and shuffle things around. Because if you know, I've mentioned different people's names through this discussing with you. So I remember all those people that have helped me along the way. So we've got to pay it forward. We're not the richest. Oh, hell no. We haven't got pockets full of cash. But what we do have is a heart full of, thankfulness and love that we can give out. And for me, I think that's the most important. Yeah, people will say, well, you can't pay bills on love. Yeah, but, at least...
But you can go to sleep at night peacefully.
Like my mum says, as long as you can lay straight in bed. And my nan always said, do unto others as you like done unto yourself, and I'll always remember that.
Beautiful. Man, that's a lot of what I'm feeling from you is that giving nature, and how important it is to help others before you help, and connecting other people that you may know that may be able to help them in those situations. So as almost like one question before we part is, what 3 life lessons that you can share with our audience in terms of lessons that you've learned and that you've incorporated that's helped you, or people that you've rubbed shoulders with that you've found that has helped you in your journey?
Well, for me, number 1 is give it 100%. Don't go in things half-assed. Oh, I'll just do it like this just to get by. Go 100%. The reason being is that's who you are. If you're going to put the effort in to do it, give it 100%. 100% all the way. Forgive and let go.
Forgive and let go.
Because a lot of people hold grudges, man. I didn't get this job, I didn't get that. Even your discussions, let's call them discussions that you have with your partners or anyone. Sometimes you just got to forgive and let go, because if you hold that, that's going to resist you moving or hold you back getting to that next level. It really is. I'm not doing it because this, that, and the other. Hang on, let it go. Frozen.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah. I know Frozen.
Move forward.
Yeah, move on.
You can't just hold on to these things, bottle them up. It's just going to inhibit, obviously, you becoming
your
a better
growth.
person.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, obviously, third is don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop learning and growing as a person. I learn every day. I've even learned just sitting there and talking to yourself on a few things. Be open, obviously, as part of learning. Don't think, I know.
Always be the student. Always be the student.
The only person that knows everything is Google or Siri. That's
Siri.
it.
Everyone else should just learn as they go.
Yeah, you need to take on a little piece from everyone else. I mean, we all take our learnings. We could all be learning the same job from 5 different people. Take your learnings, make it your own, and then obviously move forward on it. And don't ever give up, really. Don't ever give up.
Nice. And parting with that, thanks, big fella. What does the future lie for you? And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Let's say.
Maybe still in the sandpit, working over there, helping people. I feel my job there is not done. I get pretty attached. Like in my nightclub days, I love this family so much, JP and all the Palmers, helping them out. But then I just go, well, hang on, can I do this for the rest of my life? They will still be there, we'll still love each other, let's just move on to the next thing. And at the moment, it's my crews, the people there. Have I have I accomplished what I want to accomplish? I don't know, but I'm either going to be doing it over there or here. Whereas I find if I come back here to work, a lot of the people are all they're all working for that
We're all in the same game,
and they you know. Whereas I feel where I am, we're working for something different. They're working for the same here, but it's just something really different, and the personal connection with the people, because attached to that person is 10 other people sitting at home in a village or something like that, and they all live by the phone, you know, on Skype, and I don't know. Maybe someone's going to tap me on the shoulder and go, "Your time's done," or whatever, and I'll probably be still over there in the sandpit if you ask me. But I mean, one thing I will have to say is, with helping people in that, we also have to remember not to forget our families, because we a lot of people focus going this way, and we forget those who are beside us, holding us up. Yeah. And you notice a lot of people in careers are like that as well. You know, I've had my career, so a lot of people in careers are just focused career. And we forget, you know, the people that actually hold us together. So I think that's a good message to remember. It doesn't matter how fast you're going, you just got to look back every now and then to, one, appreciate those that have helped you got there and remember it, and then obviously be with your family and give them the support that you seem to be giving everyone else as well.
Nice.
Just in parting, big fella, is there a message that you want to give across or to our audience, just from your heart, that you know, that you could say, hey guys, I'm in the game, I'm in this industry. It's not what you think it is, but is there a parting message you'd like to send out there?
Yeah, look, I mean, since we're talking about FIFO and how we got into it, to the people out there, it's not what you think. You all have that goal in your head on money, and you're going to do this, do that, and the other. Also have a backup plan. Yeah, always have a backup plan, because sometimes this goal might not be as quick as you want it to be, but you might have to start in a position that you don't want to be. But the reason is you've got to step on those stones to get there. It's not just magic and you're there. You have to work from the ground up. And like my mother used to say, you've got to start from washing the dishes. I never used to like washing the dishes at KFC, but I became a manager because I started from the ground up. And at the end of the day, that's what people have to remember. You're not going to get that glamorous job. You do have to start from scrubbing the floor and doing the dishes. But also, you know, appreciate those who help you get there. Go up on your own accord, on your own skill set. You know, you get a lot of people, they get their positions from who they associate with, hang around, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, at least if you go up on your own skill set and you can be appreciated for who you are as a person, then you know you're doing right. Yeah, that's it.
Back fella, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, eh? I really do. Anytime.